test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. How's my levels? All right.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. And good evening, Wildcat fans. We're here at Northwest, the home of the Vikings, as the Wildcats are on the road this week and they prepare to take on the Vikings here on Friday night. We have a mild temperature, good weather. The Wildcats are in all white tonight as the captains get ready to take the field. We're going to go through some starting lineups here tonight. We've got your captains are walking out. We've got number 34, Jaden Young. We've got number 71, Nate Hamilton. We've got number 9, Trey Young. And we got number 19, Jonathan Bowie. They're going to be your 4 Wildcat captains. At this time, we're going to stand to take the field for the official presentation of the colors and the national anthem.
Our Northwest High School Marching Band.
So Sean Dower back here with Kyle. Good to come back for another week. I guess I didn't do too bad of a job last week. They invited me back. Great to be back with the first ever quarterback under Isaac Shelby here to call this game with.
Yeah.
Couldn't think of a better guy to be here with tonight.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was great getting to see some of these coaches still, like we talked about on the podcast this week. Taylor Stanley, Coach Shelby, some of these other guys on staff. I got to be fortunate to be a senior their first year here, and then I even got to coach with them for a few years. So it's really exciting now to get to announce them and watch them, and then knowing all these kids and these young men that are on this team still. It's really exciting to get to come back to. I've done a couple games this year too, and I haven't been fired yet, so that's exciting as well.
All right, I guess if we get the coin toss, we'll go ahead and introduce the starting lineups tonight.
These rules provide for fair competition among players. Good sportsmanship is one of the primary purposes of the high school interscholastic athletic program.
Jack Stein, 2025, Richview Middle School.
Trey Youngs, class of 2025, Richview Middle School.
Caden Pleasure, class of 2027, Richview Middle School.
Jack Wyatt, 2025, Richview Middle School.
Ben Dyke, class of 2026, Sangerville Elementary.
Logan Perez, class 2026, Richview Middle School.
Max Cunningham, class of 2026, homeschool.
Rayshawn Boyce, class of 26, Two Rivers Middle School.
Trayvon Bledsoe, class of 2026, Norwood Elementary.
Ben Moore, class of 2025, Richview Middle School.
Josh Anderson, 2026, Carmel Elementary School.
Coley Reynolds, class of 2026, East Montgomery Elementary School.
And now for the home crowd, Viking fans, get on your feet for your Northwest Vikings!
Jack Stein, 2025, Richview Middle School. Amari Galbraith, class of 2025, Richview Middle School.
Amari Galbraith, class of 2027, Richview Middle School.
Dawson Smith, class of 2026, Richview Middle School.
James Downpool, class of 2025, West Creek Middle School.
Jaden Hayes, class of 2025, Barksdale Elementary School.
Jaden Young, class of 2025, Rockbridge Elementary.
Bryson Ellington, class of 2026, Barksdale Elementary.
Josh Anderson, 2026, Carmel Elementary School.
Corbin Reynolds, class of 2025, St. Luke Middle School.
Jamarcus Watkins, Richview Middle School.
A couple keys to the game tonight for the Wildcats. Run game is going to be critical. As we know, the Wildcats are a heavy option team. We'd like to see them mix some things up. Last week against Dixon, we started off in some smokestack I formation, and then special teams are always huge for the Wildcats. There's not much defensively that you want to see change for the Wildcats tonight at all. Offensively, Coach Shelby, I imagine, will want to put some more things on tape, make it difficult for future opponents as well. And then Coach Conway does such a good job with special teams, you just never know what you're going to get, what he's going to try week to week.
Yeah, we really don't know what to expect out of Northwest. You know, their key is really just put some points on the board. You know, they've gone 2 weeks in a row without putting any points on the board, so they really want to put some stuff together. And it really starts with our offensive and defensive line being destructive up front.
Absolutely. And then Coach Taylor Stanley, the defensive coordinator, he obviously had a big week getting some recognition as we see a stoppage and play on the opening kickoff here. Coach Stanley, looks like we got to get a clock malfunction, get the clock reset for the opening kickoff. Coach Stanley, though, defensive coordinator, had a big week. He's got some recognition in the Clarksville Now paper, kind of editorial about his time here at Clarksville High. And so, obviously, he's going to want to see his defense play big tonight as he's got a good game plan in place. Short kick, it's actually going to fall. Northwest is going to recover it. A couple missed tackles, and he's brought down.
Good job there by Ben Moore on that tackle right there.
Absolutely. I think that was a good kick. It looked like he put it right where he wanted to put it, and maybe a Wildcat could have had some time to jump on it.
Yeah, that no man's land, that's where he does such a good job putting it where nobody knows who's going to catch it right there.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a great success on all of those kickoffs this year so far. That's just another example. Northwest actually going to get some decent field position. Looks like they're starting on maybe the 30.
A little bit different setup for us this week. We're actually on the Clarksville sideline, not up in the press box.
I was just thinking the same exact thing. A little different view for us. So if you're at home tonight, you probably have a better view of maybe where the ball may be placed than we do. So if we get some yardage wrong, please just refer to what you can see over what we say. Northwest going to take the handoff, and immediately tons of pressure, tons of Wildcats in the backfield there. Looks like Amari Galbraith.
Dayton Young on the tackle there.
Wildcats swarm into the ball. Looked like it was just an outside zone run, maybe.
Yeah, loss of about 4 on the play right there to set up a long second down. That's what your defense wants right there, is to put them in a long second down, especially with the offense that's kind of struggling.
Yeah,
like
absolutely. You think if you're Northwest, this is maybe potentially a passing down to try and make some of that up, especially after a negative run play. I think maybe try something different here. There's some movement on the line. It looks like Amari, older brother of Amari, tried to get maybe a defensive lineman to jump. Not sure if he got him to move or if we're going to get a offside. Looks like they're signaling for maybe an offsides on the Wildcats. Looks like Amari kind of knew what he was doing there. Maybe tried to get the offensive lineman to jump, but just went a little too late.
So they'll get those yards back now. So they'll bring up probably a 2nd and 9 here.
Wildcats are in this classic 3-3 stack defensive formation. Another zone run. Running back makes a couple great moves to make a few guys miss. To Josh Anderson on the edge, cornerback. He's had a couple really good weeks stacked back to back. Just see the replay here.
Yeah, what we do so good is our defensive line just eating up blocks, and even if the linebacker's missing it, the cornerbacks are coming up and hitting them.
Yeah, that was a great situation there. Although the running back made a couple good moves and a couple guys missed badly, it took up so much time that the defense was able to recover. Drops back to pass. Northwest throws it deep. Looked like there was a guy that maybe ran by the edge of Josh Anderson, but he was able to recover with some good coverage. Northwest is signaling they all want a flag, but it looked like Josh maybe got his head around in time. Not going to get a flag on that one.
Yeah, that's a good no call by the officials right there. I mean, just 2 guys going after the ball. You know, I've noticed this year, Kyle, they want to stay away from that other side of the ball. And you got Jamarcus Watkins over there. Nobody wants to target him.
Yeah, not at all. The few times that balls have come his way, he's made a couple great plays. He got a couple interceptions, a couple big hits. As we'll see, Northwest Viking went off the field late there. And James, number 7, went out there to maybe cover him, but Northwest is going to drop back to punt. Nearly blocked. Avari Galbraith got back there very quickly.
They got a good roll out of the punt with that one, getting it at the 20-yard line right there. So we'll start 1st and 10 from the 20, get that offense out there.
Yeah, we'll see what the offensive line can do tonight. They've been dominant so far this season. There's a couple guys tonight that are a little sick from what I understand. We're going to see a couple different people change on the interior, but it shouldn't really affect the scheme whatsoever for the Wildcats or Coach Shelby's offense. Trey Young in at quarterback number 9 to start the game. We're going to be in an empty set. Motion by James. Pitch. Out wide. He's running free. Great first down play and more. He's 20, 30, 40 yards down the field before he's touched.
There's a flag in the backfield right here. Most likely in the area of holding right there, so all that may get called back.
Despite whatever that flag was, I don't think anybody, holding or not, would have caught James anywhere within 10 yards of that line of scrimmage on that play right there.
Nah, that was a little bit different play formation. We actually looked like we put James in a little bit of motion to give him a little bit of a head start speed on that pitch right there, and so get him on the edge. But that's just part of having that little bit different interior lineman right there, and you new guys up front, you kind of expect that.
This staff tonight's actually a pretty experienced refereeing staff from Montgomery County too, so these guys are pretty top notch. So if they threw that flag there, it was probably most likely a good call. Interior option play. Again, Caden Pledger hands it off to James there. Inside, we're going to pick up maybe about a yard.
Yeah, I mean, that one thing that I would say, if you're the keys to this, you're going to stop number 7, James Dower, but wherever he goes, you want to make sure he gets stopped. I mean, if you're a defense and you're not game planning to stop him, and so that's kind of what you think that they would want to be doing right now. But they showed in that first play they weren't ready.
Jack Wyatt back. Flea Ficker play on second down. He launches it deep to Coley Reynolds. He catches it in stride. Great second down play. The Wildcats get backed up behind the sticks there a little bit. And Coach Shelby with a little bit of trickery. Looks like it's going to be an inside run play. Fullback, you see on the replay here, pitches it back on the flea flicker to Jack Wyatt. He launches it deep to Coley Reynolds.
Yeah,
play.
It's a great play right there. Got the defense to buy it on it, and they got our guys wide open right there. He had to slope a little bit for the ball, but you want to make sure you give him the ball. You don't want to overthrow him, so I'd rather have a play like that in a situation.
Yeah, absolutely. He put that ball about 30 yards in the air on a rope, too. There was not much loft to that ball at all. Trey Young's the very next play. Snap goes through his hands. You see Jack Stein, number 8, was in motion and ends up running back to fall on the ball. So pulls us back a little bit. What was 1st and 10 about midfield. Now we're going to get backed up to about second. It looks like 20 plus.
Very uncharacteristic start to us. We had a penalty and now a bad snap. So we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot in the beginning here. And so we got to get everything kind of back on schedule, get back. You know, last week was probably the most complete game that we played all year long. And we're reverting back to old stuff that we've done early in the season.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. We're seeing some trickery and some passing early. As Caden Pledger throws it deep to DeMarcus Watkins. Again, touchdown Wildcats. Exactly what you just touched on. Some uncharacteristic play that we see by Wildcats. As we come out on this first drive with a penalty, a fumbled snap, and then 2 passes to actually put us into the end zone.
We talked about DeMarcus Watkins last week. We're starting to see him more on the offensive side of the ball. Anytime you get him on the field on the offense, exciting things start to happen.
Absolutely. Wildcats are going for the extra point attempt here. Again, special teams, Coach Conway's got some uncharacteristic things, putting the defense in a bind here. We've got a little swinging gate extra point. You've got quarterback and long snapper Trey Young snapping it to other quarterback and holder Jack Wyatt. Swinging gate's pretty difficult for some high school defenses to comprehend, though. We're going to get a guy in motion. Sideways snap. Wildcats get a flag on the extra point attempt. That is a legal snap by Trey Young, so he's going to snap it sideways. I believe he snapped it to Corbin Reynolds, who then handed it off to offensive lineman Nate Hamilton, who looked like he was going to walk it in the end zone. Looks like we had some movement by the Wildcats, however, though, which is going to back us up. See if that changes the game plan or idea here at all for the Wildcats. Again, this is swinging gate. If they motion into an extra point, it'll be a 1-point play. However, that would have been a 2-point play. The Wildcats take a timeout to maybe discuss what they want to do here. Again, early in the game, trying some different things out. The Wildcats are getting a little tricky.
Yeah, I kind of had a sneaky suspicion that might be the game plan, kind of going in to kind of see if we could do some things. 2 things with that. We're starting to put some stuff on game films to make other coaches worry about down the road.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're going to look at the replay after this extra point here in a minute. But you're going to see that was not easy finding Jamarcus in that. You know, Caden does a really good job, and we'll look at it after this extra point here and show what we're talking about on that.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a big highlight for Caden Pledger there, as well as DeMarcus Watkins. Looks like the Wildcats are going to line back up for the extra point and take a more traditional approach here. Put 1 on the board with that penalty that backed them up. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Putting some things at this point in the season on tape is going to put a lot of other coaching staffs in a bind when they have to prepare for all these things that the Wildcats can do. Picks up, picks good. There's actually some penetration Northwest. Like to block that one, but they didn't quite get there in time.
So we're going to look at that replay for that left pass play. Caden Pledger is going to step up in the pocket right here, and he's going to look to find Jamar Watkins down here. And that's just great awareness by him, pocket presence, to step up in the pocket and find his receiver downfield.
Yeah, absolutely. What a great move by Jamarcus after the catch there, too, to get around the last defender and score.
So we know we run the ball really well, but if we can pass the ball, how much pressure does that put on an opposing team?
Things get scary for other defensive coordinators if they have to add one more thing to their weekly game plan against us.
Yeah, I think that's what we're trying to do right now. We're trying to show a little bit different, play sets to what we got. We come out to run a couple. We're right now really balanced. I think we're throwing 50% on both pass run right now, which is very, very usually a run-heavy offense for us out there.
Yeah, so looking good so far with the ball in the air for the Wildcats. And that was a big drive. It took about 6 minutes, 5 minutes after the Vikings' first drive. The Wildcats take about 5 minutes off the quarter there with that drive.
And a really 80-yard drive, and it really happened, pretty seamless.
Wildcats do a little bloop pick to the front line of the Vikings. Front player that got his hands on it for Northwest fumbled it a little bit, and as he fell to the ground, it looked like he fell on top of it, but the Wildcats were right there. Had there been any more mistake in that catch there, that would have been Wildcats' ball again.
I think he watched a little game film of what we did last week. I mean, that's what we came out in the first half, going to the second half, and Dixon was receiving the second half kickoff, and we did that exact onside kick right there. And that line did a really good job by Northwest staying up on the ball right there to catch that onside kick, even though he fumbled a little bit there.
Yeah, absolutely. Teams need to watch film against these Wildcats because so many things are difficult to catch on to in game speed. As the Vikings take the field for their second drive here, they take a penalty. Not sure if we signaled that it was a delay of game or too many men on the field. It looked like a Viking ran off late there.
Yeah, I think they're going to get too many men on the field here because he had that extra guy in the formation there, and that's what they're going to get for that.
So Vikings starting the drive 1st and 15 from about midfield. Delayed count. Quarterback's going to check the play here. Looks like calling it all up the line. Amari Galbraith with his second false start of the game. Very uncharacteristic for Amari as well.
So we'll just give that 5 yards back to him, and we'll be back to 1st and 10 again.
That's right. Right where they received the kickoff now. They're going to be on about the plus 45, it looks like, just over midfield. Oh, right at midfield, excuse me. 6 minutes ago in the first quarter. Northwest going to be in a true 2-by. They run it up the middle. Ball's on the ground. Fumble. Wildcats appear to pick it up.
Wildcats got the ball on that.
Again, replay here. Wildcats defensive line, like you spoke about so many times tonight already. We're going to get great penetration. It looked like number 34.
Jaden Young is going to get the recovery on this. I think he causes the fumble and he gets the recovery.
Great play.
That's doing all the work yourself. It goes back to what we talked about, the offensive and defensive lines. Our defensive line does a great job in doing what they do out there. And Jaden Young is really the anchor of that defensive line.
Absolutely. He's so quick. He's got good strength. That right there, too, had to have been a lot of film study. It looked like he knew the play call right there, at least something that what his job should have been with some of those motions and things that Northwest does, and he was able to make a big disruption right there and get that fumble. Wildcats' little untraditional set here. It's going to be under center. Amari Galbraith will run up the middle. It's going to be a true dive play here. It looks like he's going to pick up 10 yards on first down.
So another formation that we're showing here in this game right now.
Again, Wildcats showing that they can run the whole playbook out of so many different sets, which just puts such a strain on the defense.
Good run.
Now changing the set again mid-drive. We're going to get a different quarterback. We're in a true set here, and then we're going to motion everybody out and back in. Drop back to pass. Trey Young's going to throw it deep. Miscommunication. Kelly Reynolds trying to run a corner route there. Some good defensive play, but then Trey threw it to the back corner where the corner was running wide open by himself.
Yeah, good. I think good job by the defense that time, really not letting the motion get them kind of out of position. They adjusted really well. But it's nice to kind of see us do some motion things to kind of make the defense have that conversation with themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Coach Shelby still staying true to the pass tonight. This is first down shot to the end zone. More of a true set by the Wildcats here. Jamarcus Watkins is going to get it out on jet wide. We're going to get a flag down in the backfield as Jamarcus is still running. Runs through somebody, finds himself in the end zone after he runs out of bounds on the edge.
Yeah, they're going to get another holding call on us.
Yeah, that looked like a good call. Ben Moore got a little bit out of the framework of his body over on that edge. Jamarcus is so quick, too. It's hard to know where he's at and where he's going. Makes it tough on some of those blockers on the edge.
Yeah, sometimes people don't realize some of those holding calls sometimes are set up by your back cutting outside of you. You've got the block set up for him to go inside you, and he goes outside of you. And it just happens. You're not doing it intentionally. It's just where the ball ends up going that causes some of those holding calls.
Yeah, absolutely. All those players are playing really hard, really fast, and sometimes they can't let go quick enough. We're going to get a out wide set here. Jack Wyatt's back at quarterback. He's going to throw it out to Jamarcus Watkins again on the edge. A little bit of a high pass, and it goes right through his hands on the edge, which looked like he was going to have some room to maybe make a move.
Yeah, I remember he scored on that play last year at Montgomery Central, the first game of the season in 23. That's a play right there that if you get in the ball and he's got that much space right there, he's going to get a pretty good amount of yardage after, if not go to the end zone on that play.
Yeah, that's a great recall. That play, I believe, is on his highlight tape where he just ran past everybody.
Right.
A little bit more of a true set here, two wing. Looks like tight end, two wing. Trey Young back, one receiver wide, fullback.
It's only $1.
You get an option run.
Papa.
Trey Young just keeps it on the edge.
It's only $1.
Picks up a large chunk of that yardage on third down.
That's a good job by the quarterback right there, Trey Young. Pulling the belly dive and then taking it around on the option right there. It's going to be about 4th and 8 right here on this play. Looks like the offense is going to stay on the field right here, Kyle.
Yeah, strange area of the field for Coach Shelby. A little bit far for a field goal, too close for a punt. Normally on this side of the 50-yard line, Coach Shelby likes to go for it. But on something like a 4th and 8, that's a large chunk of yardage that you need to pick up. Players like James averaging over 10 yards a carry on most carries, that's not something that they can't get, though, as the Wildcats drop back to pass. Fade route thrown to the edge. Josh Anderson falls down, catches the pass, Peyton Pledger. No signal. One referee signals touchdown. One referee looked like he wasn't sure what the signal there.
Great touchdown. Also great pickup by the blocks by the running back right there to make sure that he had time to throw that ball. I'm sure we'll see it on the replay. But that's just teamwork right there at its best, right?
Oh my goodness, absolutely. Caden Pledger with his second touchdown pass. I don't know the last time that the Wildcats had 13 going on 14 points on the board by 2 passing touchdowns.
Back on the swinging gate formation here.
See the Wildcats go back to I don't see Nate Hamilton in the backfield on this one like the previous. We're going to get interesting swinging gate play there. The Wildcats, again, showing a couple different looks. That was actually...
All right, we're going to look at the replay here. So you're going to watch the pressure come up the middle here and watch it get picked up to allow time to pass this ball right there, right?
Good protection, good ball, fade route just thrown. Corner never got his head turned around, and Josh Anderson's able to locate that pass.
Yeah, great by Josh Anderson on that. Wonder that you don't get a pass interference call on that anyways, because cornerback never did get his head around. Usually you get a face guarding call with that, but they just let him play, and we still got the touchdown out, so no harm, no foul.
That's right. Yeah, the corner never even tried to locate the ball there, and Josh Anderson never lost focus there, though, as he fell backwards. The ball maybe a little bit short for him, but he was able to make that catch. Very uncharacteristic, very exciting couple of drives for the Wildcats on offense here so far.
I think our crowd's kind of quiet, not because we're losing, but I think they're just surprised, Kyle, that we've thrown the ball so many times.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a very unique situation for us, I just think.
First quarter still 4 minutes and 31 seconds to go. Wildcats are up 13-0. So now we can also suspect, as we presume that we're going to score again, we're going to go for a couple more 2-point conversions, and now having not gotten that one. Kickoff is away for the Wildcats. Again, a short no man's land kick. Ball falls. Wildcats fall on it. There's a scrum for the ball. Dog pile on the ball. It looked like the Wildcats fell on it. Wildcats come up with the ball.
We did. We came up with the ball. Ben Moore initially had it and it came out of his hands, but we still got the ball on that. We're good. It's very much in the replay. It's hard to tell. Number 24 came up with the ball on that right there.
Yeah, excellent play. That was Carter Pledger, younger brother of Caden Pledger, number 24. Quarterback we've seen throw a couple of touchdowns. His younger freshman brother came up with the ball there. Thankful to Ben Moore. It looked like he put the hit on somebody, and it looked like he liked to come up with the ball at first.
You're right, he did. He thought it. I thought Ben was going to get the ball on that. He had it for a moment, and then the other Pledge brothers. You know what's kind of cool? We've got 4 sets of brothers on this team.
That is wild. That's a unique statistic.
And unique statistics on this. So really, really cool. So we're off we kicked it in that no man's land right there. So they've said that they're going to stay up because they saw what we did last week, and we're kicking it in that no man's land, and it wasn't really fielded cleanly by them. And so we're getting that ball back, and we're back in business here, 1st and 10.
Yeah, absolutely. You talk about those kicks. Jacob Wiggins, the kicker back there, seems like it doesn't matter where the receiving team's going to line up. He's going to be able to put it where somebody's not. At least that's what it's been so far this season.
I mean, he's a weapon in himself to be able to talk about where he can kick the ball anywhere on the field and put the defense or the kickoff return team guessing where he's going to put the ball. I mean, that's just a luxury to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
For a high school kicker.
Absolutely. And he's been pretty locked in on all extra points and field goals so far this season as well. We haven't had to really struggle to get any one-point plays when we needed them. So Wildcats take the field on offense again. It's going to be 1st and 10 from what looks like from where we're standing, about maybe the 30-yard line. And it's first quarter, 4 minutes and 27 seconds to go. Wildcats are up 13-0. Jack Wyatt's back at quarterback in an empty set. We're going to get a trips tight bunch to the boundary side over here. Jack Stein with the end around. He's taken out of bounds with a large pickup. Looks like he may be getting 10 yards there.
Yeah, it looks like he got a first down and close to it. Looks like they're going to mark him as a first down yardage right there. Good run by Jack Stein right there.
Yeah, you can't ask for any better on first downs. We're going to reset the chains and play 1st and 10 again from about the 20 now.
You know, I think this week both Jack Stein won the mid-season defensive player of the year or season for the Leaf Chronicle, and then we have James on the offensive side of the ball winning the offensive mid-season player for the Leaf Chronicle. So we got him on both sides.
That's an awesome statistic there. As we see Trey Youngs throws a deep corner route. Ball's in the air. Can't tell from where we're at what happened. Amari Gallick went up with it. Looks like interception Vikings. The ball was left a little bit short. Amari Gallick made a good play on the ball, but he was just a little behind the defender. Just where he wanted to be as the offensive player there, but the ball was just left a little short.
Yeah, you got to give Northwest, props for that play right there. Defensive back is where he needs to be to make that play on that position. He just out-positioned our guy. A lot of times you want to throw that ball where only your guy can catch it, and it just was not quite over the top of him, and he was able to make a play on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, unlike the last touchdown throw, that defender did get his head around and was able to find the ball.
And that's really key right there.
So Northwest going to take the field on offense here, 1st and 10, going the opposite way at the -20. They're going to get wide, 2-by-1, deep fullback here. Quarterback's going to draw back the pass. He's going to be precious. Gets it out quick to the running back. He's going to make a couple of moves. He's shifty. He's going to make a couple of moves. He ends up coming back towards the middle of the field where he's chased back down by what looks like a defensive lineman was just tracking the playback down, Jaden Hayes. Again, that defensive line for the Wildcats never giving up.
Really only about all that and really only getting about a 100-yard gain on that, so really looking at 2nd and 9.
Yeah, that's tough. That running back was able to make a couple good moves. He's made a lot of good moves tonight, but to exert all that energy out that wide when the play is extending you the sideline and then get back middle of the field, get about a yard, is tough on the offense. Brings up 2nd and 9. Similar formation here. They're going to be 2-by-1, deep fullback. Quarterback's going to drop back to pass again. Ball's in the air. Again, ball batted down by no other than Jamarcus Watkins.
Really good play by Jamarcus Watkins right now. Unusual that they want to challenge him on that side. You're really picking your poison if you do.
That's right.
But he does a really good. We'll look at the replay right here. He just bats it down. Their offensive line's holding up really well on the pass plays, which is really unusual for us not to get anything on the pass rush.
Yeah, you're totally right there. Jack Stein actually got some good pressure interior there on the linebacker blitz, and Northwest picked it up well. We're going to bring up 3rd and about 9. Similar formation here. Quarterback's going to drop back to pass. Double to the boundary. Ball's in the air. Fade route to the sideline. Josh Anderson stays stride for stride with the receiver. Ball is a little bit wide, headed out of bounds. Josh Anderson makes a really good play.
Their quarterback threw it where only their receiver can make a play on it, which typically is what you want to do with those 50-50 balls like that. He had 1-on-1 down there. Just a little bit beyond his fingertips right there to really bring it in. So it looks like they're going to have a punting situation here. So really that interception by us, no harm, no foul. We're going to get the ball back here. And we're still, here's the crazy thing, all this passing, we're still in the first quarter.
That's right. Yeah, all this passing is slowing the clock down, which is unusual for the Wildcats as well.
Let's go, Kurt!
The Vikings are back to punt. Again, the ball's almost taken off his foot. Amari Galbraith looks to return the punt. He backs off it at the last second as he had a couple of Vikings in his face. He wanted that one. He wanted to return that one. Wildcats almost took that punt right off the punter's foot, which would have been a huge block. That's the second time tonight we've seen the Wildcats really pressure the punter.
So as we got a little bit of break as we change possession, we want to say a happy birthday to General John Carney.
Absolutely.
The first inaugural class member of the Clarksville High Hall of Fame class.
Yep.
He's always watching, so we want to say happy birthday to you and thanks for all the dedication and sports you give to this program.
Yeah, Mr. Carney's been critical and pivotal for this program, the Wildcats, over the years. He had great success here, as we've seen as he's in the Hall of Fame. Happy birthday, Mr. Carney. Wildcats back on offense here, 1st and 10. Handoff to James Dalrymple up the middle. He's going to pick up what looks to be about 4 or 5 yards, which is a phenomenal first down.
Yep. So we have about a 2nd and 5, traditional running play from us right there.
Good to see some normalcy out of the Wildcats tonight.
Well, we're keeping the defense guessing what we're going to do, and I think that was what was really good about what we did last week. We saw it would be one of our best games, keeping the defense guessing.
Great weather here tonight. We see the Wildcats motion. This might also be why we're seeing some passes. There's no humidity, no water, no moisture in the air as the Wildcats drop back to pass again here. Jack Wyatt's running for his life. Scramble drill, throws it to Jack Stein, who toe taps the sideline on the far sideline. Great passing catch by the Wildcats right there again.
There's a flag on the play back here in the air.
You see the replay on screen. That flag's in the realm of holding.
Yeah, it looks like a holding call right there. We're bringing it up, but a great play by Jack Stein. I mean, way to get open, way to get just lost out there. That's what you want to see.
Even on that holding, you know, refs are doing a fantastic job. That looked like one much stronger human overpowering a slightly weaker human is what that one appeared to look like to me. However, that one's going to back the Wildcats up. It's going to replay 2nd down. It's going to make it about 2nd and 20, it looks like, as the Wildcats are going to get backed up a good amount.
Hey, if you're an offensive lineman, you're always going to argue that perspective.
That's right, that's right. I'm sure Coach Irwin, the O-line coach, is going to be arguing that one on tape. I mean, his guy didn't necessarily do anything that you don't want to see him do there. Wildcats back under center. They're going to run the triple option from under center. Looks like there was a little bit of a confusion on the handoff. Quarterback looked alike to pull it a little bit. Fullback took it. It's Amari Galbraith, fullback there. Nevertheless, he can bring up
long 3rd and about 20 right here.
That's right. Picked up about nothing there on that play.
We got a very different set that looks like we're going to come out here. We got four wides going to the wide side of the field over there.
We got Caden Pledger, who's been the gunslinger tonight. We got quads and diamond on the far side. And it's going to throw the Vikings for a loop. They don't know how to get a line to it. They're going to call a timeout here. As it looks, that's a smart play by the head coach because they had only 2 on 4 to that wide side of the field.
Well, when you haven't seen that on tape all year, I mean, just the tendencies of your average high school players, they're not going to make that adjustment when they see it, right?
That's right.
So it's exactly what happened, and I think that's what we're kind of getting on right now. So a lot of good things going on for us.
And that speaks volumes to this senior class of Wildcats as well. Guys like James and Jack and Amari, these guys have had good playing experience from freshman year on, really. You know, despite a couple injuries, despite a couple growing pains, you know, in the younger years, they've been playing in this offensive scheme for so long now. Those are things that they don't necessarily need to practice day in and day out. It's just kind of second nature for them. So although we haven't put maybe quad diamonds on tape yet, I mean, that's not going to be anything confusing for these guys.
Nope. You know, they can run their traditional offense, and then you can throw a wrinkle in like that, and it doesn't really faze them.
Yeah, absolutely. They're so smart. They've been doing it for so long. Now they're going to line up a little bit more traditional. It's going to start off in 2 backs, fullback and an 8 to the side. Now we're going to motion out wide. We're going to get to the quads. Again, far side. We're actually going to throw back to Coley Reynolds on a quick slant route. Ball falls right through his fingertips. But he had a little bit of running room. It looked like he may have had something to do.
Yeah, we also have to be really careful on that. It was very close to being, you know, the guys not being set in motion. They had to be a full second set before they snapped the ball. Surprised we didn't get caught for that penalty on there because they were not quite set on that. So it looked like we got fourth down.
Absolutely. Again, those are some older, more experienced guys that were motioning out, getting ready to get set. And then a little bit of a younger quarterback and sophomore Caden Pledger out there. Just one of those things that maybe he needs to learn on tape. Comes with time there. As we get this rolling punt from Jacob Wiggins again, we talk about the things that he can do. James Dalrymple lines up in a quarterback set almost, and it pitches it back to the punter. He gives a rugby style as the ball falls down and is stopped about the minus 35-yard line. It looks like as the Vikings will take the field.
So we got about 37 seconds left to the end of the first quarter. Hard to believe this first quarter is gone this long. So that punt situation right there, we got a couple of different things around. I mean, we've even seen James punt out of that front formation.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, we showed all kinds of different versions of special teams. So everything we're doing kind of different. We're even seeing some different players on the defense out there right now. So trying to get some other guys involved in the game plan out there too.
And with the trickery we've seen from the Wildcats tonight, the Vikings didn't even drop a punt return back there because there's just no telling what could have happened. So they just kept a guy in and let the Wildcats do whatever they wanted to do with the kicker. Vikings will take the field here. They've got 2-by-1 to the boundary. H-back and a fullback. Quarterback takes the snap. He's going to hand off wide zone. Dawson Smith, tremendous D lineman in the backfield before the running back can even accept the handoff from the quarterback there.
Look at this replay right here. I mean, I'm really surprised that they're going to try to run wide on us, and that's what they're going to do because just their speed doesn't really match up with us right here. And what a great open field tackle there, dropping for a 3-yard loss. I mean, I really thought their keys was to really get up and run between the tackles to kind of negate our speed.
Yeah, phenomenal play, and Dawson Smith's so strong there on the edge. It's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter as the Vikings let the clock tick down. On the flip sides of the field here.
I guess we'll take a break here, Kyle, and let everybody kind of catch their breath after a long first quarter right here.
Sounds good.
Hey, welcome back. We're back to start the second quarter. We're 2nd and 12 here.
Let's go, keep it!
Wildcats on defense here. Vikings, similar offensive set of what we've seen all night. We're going to get a power run to the wide side of the field of the Wildcats sideline there.
That's that younger brother of the Gilbert Amari right there. I mean, he is a beast.
Yeah, that was a strong, fast play.
Just watch it on the replay right here. He's just going to beat this guy, come in off the edge right here, and get him right here in the backfield. If you don't cut him off on the backside, you're not going to keep him getting to the ball carrier in the backfield.
Yeah, no, and that's what makes this defense so special, too, because you got to block at least one of them, and you can't block them both. And one of them's always going to make the play, so you're just putting yourself in a bind there on the offense. As we see a timeout by the Vikings.
That's their last timeout of the half right there. So all this confusion has caused them to use all their timeouts, and we're just, not even 20 seconds into the second quarter right here, so they're gonna have no timeouts. But realistically, if you're them, you're pretty happy with a 13-0, deficit right now because it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, absolutely. Penalties, not really any major turnovers for the Wildcats, but penalties, the one punt put us behind the sticks a little bit, but.
Yeah, so it's not been bad for them. They, like I said, they need to try and figure out how to put something together. It doesn't seem like that they're going to be able to run the ball. So do they stick to the pass game, or do they? what are they going to do with it?
Yeah, that's tough as well. If you're the Vikings, I'm not quite sure what your game plan is. You know, they've tried Josh Anderson a few times tonight on one side, and he's played really well. And then they've tried Jamarcus Watkins the one time, and he's played exceptional. And so I don't really know where you're going to pass. Running backs made a couple good plays. If he can get some positive yardage, that might be their best game plan. They're going to get a flag, stoppage of play right before the snap.
It's like they got a legal substitution.
I'm not quite sure what these hand signals are by the referees, but they're marking it off that it's going to be on the Wildcats.
I saw that far called illegal substitution, but I didn't see what that wasn't the signal the Wildcat gave.
Yeah, it's going to bring up 3rd and about 9. The Wildcats D-line was given a lot of movement, but they're down here. Going to be a designed run. The running back and the quarterback have a little bit of a mesh point. I'm not quite sure if that was a designed quarterback run or not, if it was a read play. To me, it looked like there may have just been some confusion. Either way, it's going to bring up 4th down, and it looks like the offense is going to run off the field for the Vikings.
Yeah, 4th and long 3. I mean, you're on your side of the 50-yard line. I mean, you haven't played bad. You definitely don't want to give Clarksville a short field here.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Vikings are going to take the field to punt. We're dropping Amari Galber's back to receive the punt along with Corbin Reynolds. We're going to go 2 men this time. Wildcats have pressured both punts and almost blocked 2 punts in a row here. We'll see if they come after this one. They definitely pressure it. Amari Galber's going to catch this one off the bounce. We do have a big flag in the backfield. Josh Anderson took on a lead block in front of the punter, and through the block ends up running into the punter.
Yeah, that's kind of one of those where did he get blocked into the punter? Was it, you know?
Tough one to tell. If you're the referee, tough one to call.
Yeah.
I understand, you know, getting one of those coaching points on Josh Anderson. You don't really have anything big to fault him on, you know, doing his job there. He takes on a good block. He just gets one of those mistakes that happens.
One of the biggest plays that they've had tonight at 15 yards.
Yeah, that's going to give the Vikings the ball back on offense, right?
And we can tell Coach Shelby's a little bit upset about the call right there.
Yeah, again, this is a good Montgomery County fishing crew tonight. I believe one of these guys is actually a neighbor of some of the coaches. You know, it's a longtime community member. So if Coach Shelby's giving him an earful, he's probably giving it right back to Coach Shelby as well. Vikings take the field, back on offense right at midfield. They're going to have an H and a fullback. They're going to have 2 receivers split wide either side. Quarterback's going to take the snap here. Going to get a design draw, and he's going to be running to a post. Very quick whistle by the officials.
Good play by the Wildcats interior right there. Got an injured player for the Vikings on the field right there, number 73.
There's a Vikings player down. You said he's rolling around. It appears to be a pretty serious injury the way that he's making some movements. Hopefully he's okay. Miss Teresa Sparn, Hall of Fame trainers out there. It's going to be number 73, Caleb Kosi, I believe is how you say his name, for the Vikings. Haven't seen any indication of what maybe hurt on him yet.
Just when you get a big pile in the interior like that, you got people falling on your legs. It's really tough being an offensive lineman right there. That's so in the knee and ankle areas right there. That's where it's so tough.
Yeah, hopefully he's okay. Interior linemen are a dime a dozen too. You don't have too many of them, and they're all very much worth it. So.
And it's really, really tough deal. You never want to see anybody get injured out there.
Again, it looked like a good play by the Wildcats defense. That injury didn't look like it was caused by anything malicious or maybe out of intent. It was just a good defensive play, and the lineman got rolled up there. And we have 9 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the second quarter. Wildcats are up 13-0. Vikings player's up, and he's walking out on his own strength, which is a good sign. If he is okay and able to return, he did go down injured, so he will have to go out for a few plays.
he looks to be walking pretty good, so that's always a good sign for him right there. So.
Wildcats defense is standing out ready to go. Vikings are huddled up on the sideline getting a play.
Should be 2nd and 10 here, if I believe. There's the down. It's hard to see the down marker for where we're at. Yeah.
Vikings are looking at the sideline. There's some confusion as to what's going on. A bunch of linemen actually just put their hand down and lifted them back up, so we should have just got an illegal formation, but the refs are going to let that one slide. 4 seconds. 3 seconds. Vikings get the snap off at just in time. He is wrapped up immediately. This will be number 42, Elijah Ligon.
Replay. He's made the last 2 tackles right there. He's done a really good job in that middle right there. Watch this replay right here.
So quick.
Yeah.
A couple of Wildcats will be credited with some assists there too. Dawson Smith and
Well, that's what we talked about. I mean, you got Jaden Young. He does such a good job. If you don't, when you bring the other guys in, they do a great job, and that's why we have such a good linebacker corps. Because the job of those defensive line, you get those blocks, and if you let them go to get the linebackers, and they're just making the tackle in the backfield, and that's what they're doing.
Absolutely. Design quarterback run, it looks like here. He's being run down. That was 3rd and 10. He gains maybe a yard or 2 before he's run out of bounds. By host of Wildcats, Jack Stein, looking like he led the charge there.
Yeah, you're just not going to beat Jack Stein right into the sideline like that. You're gonna have to go north and south, and that's trying to string that play out. You got a couple yards, but you're needing a big play on that. It's a tough deal.
Absolutely. It's going to bring up 4th and maybe 7 yards, long 7. Looks like Vikings are going to bring out the punt unit as they're right at midfield. It's been tough for them to gain that chunk of yardage in any single one play. Wildcats are going to look to hopefully not rough the punter on this one. As we have the same similar set. Looks like we're going to have Corbin Reynolds and Amari Galbraith back deep to return the punt. Snap. Punt's bobbled by the punter. We don't pressure it at all right there, though, so the punt's away good. Corbin Reynolds, look, he maybe called for a fair catch. Maybe the ref didn't see it. He catches it a little cleanly, though, falls.
Yeah, that definitely could tell that was telling our guys, let's don't get a penalty on, let's get the ball back. And,
yeah.
You know, because bobble snap, we didn't really have a rush on the punter. We were going to make sure they really punch safe right there.
Absolutely. Good to see Corbin Reynolds try to field that one cleanly, though. He slipped a little bit and fell, but he was able to hang on to it. Wildcats offense going to take the field. Jack White in at quarterback. Looks like we're going to have a more traditional set here for us. Wings, tight end wing, fullback, deep. Snap. Bobbled snap. Jack Stein's going to fall on it. And some confusion, maybe some lackadaisicalness by the Wildcats offense there. It looked like it was, you can tell, it's hard to tell from where we are, but it looked like it was maybe a clean snap and just bobbled maybe a little bit.
A little bit on the handoff right there with the mesh point not exactly where it needed to be. We've had a couple of those this year where that's been the case. We want to kind of try to clean that up because we don't need to be doing that against good teams, especially as we get ready for Kirkwood. Not that we really want to look ahead, but you know that's going to be potentially a de facto regional championship game next week, and you can't make those kind of plays like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. We talked about tonight putting things on film a lot too. Looking a little sloppy with some of these penalties and things that we've had so far in this first half. So yeah, exactly like you said, we're going to clean some of that up.
Still got a penalty flag on the field right now, so trying to see what they're going to call here.
Looks like they're going to wave it off. I know he's waved off. Wildcats are under center here. We get a pass to the flats, and Amari Galbraith with the catch. He's going to get back all that we just lost and more. I think he picks up maybe 16, 17 yards right to the stick there.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be close to the first down. It's hard to tell because they didn't really get the change set good before the play. The refs were a little bit confused on that play.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused. Picking up the flag and then going right into the snap. It looked like the Wildcats were under center. From where we were standing, I couldn't even see the play develop, so I couldn't imagine the defenders there either.
Well, that and they didn't even have the down marker set where it was supposed to be. So
here we go. We're gonna be 2nd and 1. Wildcats shotgun handoff. James at the middle. Hard run. He's brought down by a couple of Vikings. See if he picked up the first. See where the ball spotted there.
no indication yet. We're just waiting to see. We're still calling it. First down, finally. I was waiting on some kind of indication.
Yeah. So was I. Again, from where we are standing, if you're at home watching, you may have a better camera view than we do. We're standing in the top of the visitor bleachers in one of the corners here, so from our angle, it's a little difficult to tell where the ball spotted. Wildcat shotgun formation, drop back to pass. Jack Wyatt, he's pressured, he's scrambling wide. He pulls up the fake pass, and he's still running wide side of the field as he runs over somebody right over the edge. They both fall out of bounds.
We're going to look at the replay here. He's going to be looking downfield, Jack Wyatt here. Really want to look at as he does a little fake pass here to get the defender to bite. But in the end, I think he puts a little punishing hit on the defensive back right there.
Absolutely.
You don't expect a quarterback to put their shoulder down and lower it like that.
You like to see that. Maybe don't always like to see it from your quarterback, but some good physical run. Right there, great key nose Wildcats get under center here. There was no holding on the offensive line there as they all did a great job of getting off those blocks. Option play, Trey Youngs fakes pitch. He's running. He's got some room. Amari Galbraith gives a block. Trey's still running. He's wrapped up finally. 35, 40 yards downfield. Amari Galbraith with a huge block out in front for Trey Youngs on that option play from under center.
We got an injured player on the field for the Vikings. But if we look at this replay, you're going to see Trey Young make a fake pitch to James going around, and that really just froze the defense, and they didn't know what was going on. So we're not going to get a replay on that, but it was really that fake pitch that he did out, and the defense just kind of froze, and he found that seam left in there.
Yeah, if you're a defender, those are two guys that you don't want to see running at you in any form or fashion, and then to have both of them running your direction is really difficult.
Pick your poison. Which one do you want to defend? And it's really not a good solution either one. We got Jamarcus Watkins back on the field.
Caden Pledger in at quarterback here. Tight wings bunch. Bootleg pass. Caden Pledger throws to the corner to Ben Moore, who catches it in the corner. It looked like a touchdown from here. Oh my goodness, no referee has a clear view whatsoever.
I'd have to see the replay. I think it was a touchdown from our vantage.
It looked like a clear touchdown from our vantage, but one thing that we could probably see tonight.
We're watching replay right here. I mean, he looks like he's got a foot down right there. It's a touchdown.
Goodness
but
gracious.
They called it no touchdown.
We're watching the live replay right here. If you're at home, the fans are wondering what we can see, but on the camera angles here,
I think he had it looked like he had both feet down from what the replay just showed.
It looked like he had both feet down and tucks the ball. 2nd and 10, Wildcats. Jack White in at quarterback. James Alvarez around the edge on a buck. He runs through a defender. He runs through the referee. He runs through two more defenders before he's brought down.
We got our referee down right there.
Well, a host of Wildcats pick him up. He looks to be all right.
Here we're gonna watch James run the ball. This is what you want to do, run the ball hard right there. Referee's got to learn to get out of the way. You don't run around him, you just run through him right there.
This is physical. That's a great play by a senior running back right there. Don't let anything get in your way.
They're going to take a look at the referee, make sure he's okay, because that's a tough hit when you take a tip from James Downford like that.
Absolutely.
I mean, he got knocked out. I mean, and that's also why they always have a spare guy on the crew right there.
Yep.
If folks at home don't know, there's always a spare referee on the crew. If they have to bring him in, they'll bring him in.
Always prepared.
We're going to go back to Ben's replay and take a look at it, I think, if we can get it back up. Watch this replay right here. Ben, you're going to see he tap-toes both feet down. Both feet are down on that pass to Ben Moore. Clearly a touchdown. I'm not really sure what the official. You definitely can see the official that made the call was the one that was all the way back up here at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And so it should have been the guy that was down there in the end zone.
You can see on the replay they both look at each other in kind of unsureness of what just happened,
right.
And then they just try to make maybe the less controversial call. I don't really know there as a referee what you're feeling in that moment.
Well, you think they need to get together and say, hey, what did you see?
Absolutely.
And that's what they really should have done.
Yeah, you'd like to see more of a conversation there. They kind of stood 10 yards apart, shaking their head at each other before they even made a call. Wildcats pass. We're going to get a flag down pre-snap. Wildcats are going to be lined up on about the 4-yard line. Trey Youngs throws a ball out to the flat to Jamarcus Watkins, who catches it. Not sure what this flag's going to be here. Maybe some illegal motion, maybe false start on the Wildcats. They thought Jamarcus maybe moved a little bit early. Again, if you're a referee, just as confused as the defense is by this Wildcats offense, there's so many moving parts of our offense for a referee, and it looks like we don't have a full staff maybe tonight of referees. You know, they're going to get a buck end around by Jack Stein, who's going to walk it into the end zone. Walk it in. He walks through somebody at the last second.
Good play by Jack Stein here on this touchdown right now.
Yeah, phenomenal run.
We're going to go to the replay right now. So watch him. He's going to take this ball, just run up inside the defender right there. And then he's going to take one defender he's got to beat to get across the goal line. And you're not stopping Jack Stein with a play like that.
Absolutely not. Super strong kid, super smart when he gets on the edge there. Ball snap, set, kicks up, kicks good. Wildcats are going to go up 20-0 with 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. What we were saying, so many moving parts. Again, even on that buck where Jack Stein scores right there, you get a slight motion before the snap. Referees, crews in high school, they can have 6-man, 7-man, 8-man crews. You know, you're always going to have a backup and an extra. We have a little bit of a light crew tonight, and so you're not getting guys in every one of those corners, especially on that passing play like Ben Moore where he toe taps it. They were typically on a full-man crew. You'd have somebody down in that corner actually too that would be able to help out, so that's just tough. And then again, we have a Watkins and a little bit of a motion, and you know, to a far referee, it looks like an illegal shift when it might not have been.
Right. You know, it's just, I mean, it's a tough deal. You know, with the touchdown, we have the ability to have the replay up here, so I know they're trying to make. Like I said, we would just like to see them got together and had a little bit of conversation about it. Yeah, we got a little bit of taping up going up on the referee that was just injured in that play. He's getting a little bit of work done. They got run over by James Dalrymple on the play. Coach Shelby checking on him. Hazard comes with a job out there. That's that middle judge. He's got it tough, you know.
Tough. I believe that's Dino Devers, too, who's been a referee in Montgomery County for years and years. Long time guy. Knows all these coaches really well from both teams, I imagine. I want to see him okay. He's a good referee. Don't want to lose a guy like that. As the Vikings return the kick, again, this is that same, I believe, number 8 for the Vikings. It's going to be Scales, running back. He's been so shifty tonight, but unfortunately, some of the moves that he makes just end up causing him to go backwards a little bit.
Yeah, you're over there and you run up against Amari Galbraith and you're trying to go laterally on him. That's not going to, I mean, he's a big guy, but he's a fast, big guy.
That's right.
I mean, he runs track.
Yeah, well, we've seen him a lot this year so far, too. Play coverage on the edge, yes. With some big-time receivers as well. He's not a slow guy by any means.
I didn't lose it. I misplaced it.
Vikings are going to take the field here with 3 minutes and 57 seconds to go before half. We're going to get a 2-by-1, 2 receivers to the field side, fullback back deep behind the quarterback in shotgun. He's going to drop back to pass. He's pressured. Ball's tipped. Amari Galbraith. Ball goes right through his hands. I see potentially got an easy pick 6 right there.
He got a replay coming up here. He read that ball perfectly. If he doesn't come on that ball, Jamarcus Watkins is right there to be on it. But this is great read by Amari Galbraith right there. He's going to drop back and see that coming all day long right there.
Yeah, great play defensively. Again, Vikings are trying to make something happen here. Quarterback was pressured. That was about as good as a ball as he could have thrown into that coverage. We're going to bring up 2nd and 10. We're going to go trips to the field side here. Quarterback's in gun, fullback deep. We're going to drop back to pass. He's pressured. Ball's deep. Ball's away. Ball's deep. And Josh Anderson gets beat over the top by number 12. That's a battle we've seen a couple times tonight now.
It looked to be a little bit of push off by the receiver, but you're probably going to get the benefit of the doubt right now because they've been letting him play. But if you look at the replay, there was a little bit of push off, but that separation, allowed him to get to the ball. But,
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I think personally, if you're Northwest, the Vikings, that's really your best play because running the ball hasn't been working for you.
Oh, yeah.
You kind of stretch this field, and maybe you can run the ball. So.
I agree. You're running into a little bit of a risk of stopping the clock there as they jump back to pass again. Quarterback throws it over the middle, and it's a phenomenal play broken up by Josh Anderson there again. So great to see that play by Josh, getting beat over the top of the play before and then staying right back in there and fighting with a great defensive play the very next play.
Yeah, look at this replay right here. I mean, they've definitely said they're going to target Josh Anderson. Good leverage on it right there to get that ball batted away.
I like what the Vikings are doing, playing a little bit aggressive, throwing the ball around here, but it's also dangerous because they're stopping the clock right before half, giving the Wildcats an opportunity as defense to recover. This quarterback's going to drop back to pass again on 2nd and 10. Ball's away, ball's deep, again over to Josh Anderson. Doesn't get his head around, but makes a great defensive play there.
Yeah, so sometimes when you don't get your head around, the best thing you could do is watch the receiver's eyes, and he did a great job watching the receiver's eyes on that play. He watched and saw what the receiver was doing, and he reacted to that. That's how he knocked that ball out. Great play by him to do that.
Yeah, love to see he didn't get in a hands fighting battle either. Once he saw those eyes, just like you said, he got his hands up, was able to make a good play. Looked like the ball maybe hit him right in his back area, right where he threw those hands up at.
Yep.
It's going to bring up, I believe, 3rd and 10. Ball's on about the 30 headed in for the Vikings. Again, traditional set here. They're going to be 2 by 1 to the field. Fullback back deep. Quarterback's going to drop back to pass. Quick pass to a slot receiver. Going to be chased down by Ben Moore. Then finished by Jamarcus Watkins on the edge.
Yeah, you're not going to – that's one of those where you're trying to get wide, and that's not going to work with the fast speed of our defense, whether it's the outside linebackers or – the inside linebackers, they're gonna stretch a play out. They're gonna make you go sideline to sideline.
Yeah, tough play on the edge when we've got speed.
So, they're a little confused here. They're out of timeouts, and they just called a timeout. So that just messed up by the refs. I was a little confused there myself.
I was as well.
The refs called Northwest timeout, and I'm like, they're out of timeout, but we actually took a timeout there because we want the ball back right there.
So it's gonna be 4th and 10. We're going to make the Vikings potentially maybe take a long field goal, looks like.
Well, I got a timeout. I want to talk about that QR code that people can support the Clarksville Wildcats Touchdown Club. They're such a great job for everything. Your program, part of this program, how much it means people come out and support this, whether it's monetary or coming out and giving a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you can come out and see the Wildcats or support the Wildcats, financially, like these players, they have phenomenal equipment, phenomenal facilities, and none of it is cheap. We are a public school in Montgomery County, so we do not get funding for hardly anything that goes on these Friday nights. So anything that people can give is greatly appreciated.
Good deal. I mean, that QR code's up on the screen, and make sure you guys want to donate, give the Clarksville Touchdown Club. It's a good thing. So it looks like we're going to get a long field goal try here. This is a...
Scoreboard says the ball's on the 32 with a 10-yard end zone from where the kick is going to be placed.
So we're looking at about a 49-yarder here.
It looks like it. Ball's set, ball's kicked. Ball's going to be short. Going to land in the end zone. Jamarcus Watkins maybe had an opportunity to catch it. However, if the ball in high school falls into the end zone or is caught in the end zone, it's going to be a touchback. So we're going to get Wildcats ball on the 20-yard line. Again, something to note here, we were a little bit confused there. Referees are signaling that Vikings had called a timeout when they didn't have any. If the Vikings would have called a timeout, I believe TWSAA rule is that it would have been a 15-yard penalty, a loss of the down, and it would have been an unsportsmanlike on that coaching staff, on the head coach. 2 of those results in an ejection and a missing of the next week. The Wildcats are going to take over. Caden Pledger's in at quarterback. Demarcus Watkins trots on a little bit late. Looks like we're going to have a tight bunch set. Some of our playmakers. Wildcats are going to have 2 minutes and 40 seconds here. Caden Pledger drops back. He's pressured. He scrambles wide. He's running here. He's going to throw it deep. to Jack Stein. Ball's just over the head of Jack Stein as he was running backwards there. Jack falls down, trying to make a little bit of a diving play there and gets up slow. Hopefully he's all right.
Well, look at this replay. I mean, really good job by Caden Pletcher to kind of avoid the pressure right here and then find another receiver downfield. Just a little bit too long. He was open. He gets that ball down a little bit. It's a catch right there.
Yeah, quarterback righty there rolling to his left. That ball just sails a little high on him. He's just got throttled back a little bit on that throw. Wildcats still have 2 minutes and 27 seconds, which tonight has not been an issue of time for them. Because we're going to get an option play. Quarterback Jack Wyatt pulls it wide. He's going to be brought down. It's going to result in a 3rd down.
Yeah, try to run the option there. Maybe a little bit looked like the dive was there. So sometimes we get a little bit greedy with that. We're pulling it out right there. So
Yeah, quarterback could have been reading maybe the wrong cued guy there on the edge or something. It definitely looked like we maybe had a dive option there. It's going to bring up about 3rd and 8. Trey Young's in at quarterback. He's going to give it to James on the side. He's going to get what he needs and ton more. He's running down the sideline, and he gets out of bounds. He had a great block by Amari Galbraith. There's going to be some talking on the sideline by a couple of players as that ball. James got driven out of bounds right there on the edge after a couple of blocks.
So look at this replay. James is going to tiptoe just down this sideline. I mean, he's got Amari out here blocking. That's some great blocking by Amari right there to lead the way. I mean, it's one thing to get past that first line, but those 2nd and 3rd tier blocks, and Amari has done a great job the last 2 weeks making some great blocks down the field.
Absolutely. Players a little bit talking after the play there. Just saw a little bit of pushing, and then Amari goes up and handshakes the opponent there to let him know no hard feelings. Caden Pleasure drops back to pass on this 1st down. James makes almost a phenomenal one-handed catch as he has to plant his foot, stop, and jump backwards almost there. Almost comes down with it still.
Yeah, if the quarterback gets that pass thrown, that's a completion.
Absolutely.
You know, potentially another 1st down. We move the sticks right there. So.
Yeah, that's a 10 out of 10 caught ball by James in that area, and even with a ball thrown a little bit behind him, he still almost makes it a 50-50 ball.
So apparently we had a penalty marker on the play, so I'm not sure what the call was.
It's going to bring up 2nd and 15 for the Wildcats. We still have 1 minute and 37 seconds to go before half. Like a Viking player threw the flag back to the official. Not really sure what just happened there. Wildcats are going to take the ball though on 2nd and 15. It's going to be James again on the buck, end around, double pulling guards. He picks up about 7 on the play before it takes 3 Vikings to bring him down midfield.
We got another injury by the Vikings right here. Stops the clock with 1:20.
Yeah, you don't want to see anybody injured, but that is a good stoppage of clock. Looks like it's one of the players that maybe James ran through there. Players moving around, not necessarily holding any body part. I believe maybe just tired here, it looks like. Looks like he's getting up on his own strength. Again, that's a little bit more of traditional what we see from the Wildcats is just monster trucking the guys in front of them and just wearing down the opponents. We haven't seen that quite as much tonight, but you're seeing some of the players like James, some of these linemen up front getting back to it a little bit on that play there.
Yeah, even though we kind of got a couple different offensive linemen, we're still showing that kind of dominance that we need to show, which is the offensive line has kind of really been a prideful point for us the last 4 or 5 years in Clarksville.
Absolutely, and we're seeing a right guard, number 65, Kyle McPherson, in tonight, and he is not giving us any trouble whatsoever. As the Wildcats now have 2 quarterbacks in at fullback and quarterback. Trey Young's back in at quarterback. We had a fake pass to the flat there as we had Jamarcus Watkins running open down the sideline, but Trey Young's took a shot from the DN that came in.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Somebody missed something. He just got a free movement to the quarterback on that play. So we got a 4th down here.
Jamarcus Watkins going to take it on Buck around the edge. He's going to pick up the 1st down and more. He's running. That's going to bring us down to a minute as Jamarcus Watkins gets down to about the 16-yard line.
So that's a benefit to having a player like Jamarcus Watkins and James on the field at the same time. you get him keying in on James, thinking he's going to get the ball, and you hand it to Jamarcus and get a big first down right there out of Jamarcus Watkins.
Yeah, that's so tough. He's so quick around that edge. The defenders weren't really sure where the ball even was. As we get a first down play, we're going to drop back to pass. Ball's in the air. Jack Wyatt just barely overthrows Jack Stein. I actually really like that play call here because it's 1st and 10 from about the 16. If we catch that ball there, Jack Stein's in the end zone right now, but ball falls short, stops the clock, and we don't have any timeouts.
Right. Good play call right there, stoppage of the clock. Just past the reach of Jack right there.
Yeah,
We've run that play a couple of times that day, and we just haven't been able to connect.
Yeah, Jack Wyatt had 2 defenders in his face there. He makes a decently thrown ball. Jack Stein just not able to get to it in time. But that's a really smart play call. You see by the coaching staff there. Again, Trey Youngs drops back to pass on 2nd and 10 and just overthrows Jack Stein again. That's the 3rd or 4th play now that we've seen on this drive alone of Jack Stein just being overthrown by these quarterbacks.
They just got to get the ball down. You're not getting it down under the linemen. They're doing a good job getting some penetration, taking a little bit advantage of that mismatch of our normal offensive line play up in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Jack Stein clearly frustrated as he could have had 2 or 3 different touchdowns on this drive. As we drop back to pass again, Caden Pledger throws it on a wheel route to the edge as he's hammered. Demarcus Watkins comes up with a touchdown.
Good job by Caden Pledger standing in there because the pressure was coming up the middle on that play right there. And I still think the ball maybe got tipped a little bit, but he had enough juice on it to get it to where it needed to go.
Yeah, I think so. Good strike by Caden Pledger. That's his 3rd throwing touchdown of the night.
Let's show you that replay. It looks like we're going to go for 2 to get back to 28, make it a 4-score game at this point.
James around the edge. He runs into a pulling guard. He's tackled down as that 2-point conversion is going to be no good. It looked like there may have been a hole there as one of the pulling guards got caught up in the backfield, and then James isn't able to get around that. There's a bit of congestion there.
Here's the replay. So look at this pressure. He's going to do a good job standing up to the pressure right here in this replay. And that ball was a little bit tipped right there, but just he threw it where he wanted to. And Jamarcus makes a good play on the ball and catches it for a touchdown right there.
Absolutely. Jamarcus is one of those guys that's going to be hard to overthrow him, as we saw a couple balls overthrown of the receiver on that drive. Jamarcus runs right under that one as Caden Pledger throws a good strike.
I mean, that's a tough throw to make when you're a sophomore and you got a guy coming on block like that and you're going to make that throw. I mean, that just talks about, hey, willing to stand in there and take a shot like that for the team.
Absolutely. Not many quarterbacks in the county at any grade level are going to stand in and make a throw like that, especially there's some good pressures there by the Vikings D-line as they stood up on that drive.
Yeah, we had a little bit mix of traditional on that drive to going back to the pass. We got it started with a couple of running plays to get us moving down the field, and then we got down here and then we threw the ball a couple of times, and so it got us in the end zone. Really good balance. I think this is probably one of our most balanced games we've had so far going down the stretch. So,
absolutely.
Last week being probably our most complete game we played, this probably being our most balanced game that we played so far.
You love to see that. And this coaching staff of Isaac Shelby, they generally just get better as the year goes on, and they get their absolute best football when playoff time comes around, and we're still a few weeks away from that. As Jacob Williams kicks it away, first deep kick that we've seen, lands about the 10-yard line, bounces and falls and barely creeps into the end zone as the Wildcats almost get down to recover it at about the 1-yard line.
I mean, that's how good a kicker he is. I mean, for the last 3 kickoffs, he's either nearly onside kicked it, we have recovered it, put it right there, and then they pull everybody up, and he kicks right over the head. So it's like, pick your poison. What do you do?
Absolutely. And if that ball had fallen maybe 6 inches sooner, that ball would have been found dead on the 1-yard line by a Wildcat.
I mean, it was almost like he hit a pitching wedge and just trying to get a drop on the green right there, and nearly accomplished that right there on the 1-yard line. So really, really good by him.
Great kick. Vikings offense is going to take the field. 23 seconds to go for half. They're going to get lined up. Real 2-by-2 tied into the boundary. Quarterback, fullback. Quarterback's going to take it and just hand it off. No timeouts, so this may potentially run out the half. 10 seconds to go. Looks like that will complete the first half. The Wildcats lead 26-0 here at Northwest.
A very different first half than we're used to seeing.
Absolutely.
So, good deal, good time to watch. Good variety we've seen here in the first half. It's been a long first half, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think we're used to seeing the first half this long. So, you know, we're going to take a break. So hopefully you guys can take a break and we'll see you back here at the second half. Just so you guys know that we're going to have a pause in to reset the system and make sure it gets up and functioning. So if you see it go blank, don't worry, it'll come back up. Okay.
Thank you for your time and attention and support of Northwest Homecoming festivities. Have a wonderful evening.
What did you get today?
Get him, coach!
I know, I had a process like
All right, hey, welcome back to the second half. Sean Dalrymple here. We got Kyle, the first starting quarterback for Coach Shelby.
Yeah, that's a statistic that I like to remind Coach Shelby about often.
I know I was listening to the podcast this past week, and always fun to listen to those podcasts. You learn a lot of neat facts.
Yeah.
So, I know we just did get an update on the score from Rossview and Dixon.
Yeah, it looks like Dixon's leading Rossview 12-8 with maybe an extra point or 2-point conversion pending on that. That's big for us because Dixon was able to knock off Kirkwood, and then Kirkwood was able to knock off Rossview. So it's going to put some other teams in the city in a kind of weird tie.
Right. Well, we're about 30 seconds for starting this second half here. I mean, we look at what we have coming back to the second half right now. We're up 26-0. We saw a very different football team from the Wildcats in the first half, meaning not necessarily bad. We just saw a different offense out there that we hadn't really seen all season long, Kyle.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a much slower first half than we've seen because so many passing opportunities. some incomplete passes that we're not used to slowed that first half down off a lot. But fortunately for the Wildcats, if we can get one more score on the board and go up 30-0, we're going to get that running clock, and then some of those incomplete passes won't matter as much.
Yeah, I think that'll be important because, I think we kind of benefited last week playing on a Thursday night to have an extra day of rest to start getting late in the season. We got one more game to go before we get to the, that bye week we got. It's going to be key before we go to Kirkwood next week. We're going to get the opening kickoff. Ultimately we want to go up and take this ball down and score and start getting these points on the board so we can get some guys onto the field and kind of start resting our starters more.
Absolutely, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think Kirkwood's on Thursday next week.
It
right
is.
Before fall break.
It is. It'll be a short week, so that's why it was so critical.
Yeah.
Coming off, taking it. We didn't plan it that way and play on Thursday night last week, but it's critical to kind of take that short week to kind of recover. It's really not going to be a short week, but we had this long week before, so we can kind of get a little bit extra rest with it.
Absolutely. The clock's been reset. We've got 12 minutes on the board. The Vikings are getting ready to kick off to the Wildcats to start the second half. Like we said, per TSSAA rules, if the Wildcats can go up 30 or more points, then it'll be a running clock, and that running clock will not stop. Whether we drop below 30 points or not, we'll have a running clock the second half. That's what the Wildcats offense will look to do as they receive this kickoff right here. Kicks deep. Looks like Jamarcus Watkins is able to field it. He's running with a wall of lead blockers. Jamarcus Watkins takes off. He has room, one man to beat, just the kicker. Jamarcus Watkins, 10-5, no flags that I can see on the field. That may have just got the Wildcats to a running clock with Jamarcus Watkins' touchdown.
That's the way you want to start the second half right there.
There's a replay right here. Jamarcus Watkins outrunning the entire field.
That's the one guy you don't want to kick the ball to right there.
Goodness. Track star, multi-sport athlete, one of the fastest in the city. Showing why he's earned an SEC Vanderbilt offer.
I mean, he is dynamic. Anytime you can get the ball, that's why I think it's been so critical these last couple of weeks, getting him involved more in the offense.
Tremendous play by Jamarcus Watkins right there. I'm not sure if he's been here all night, but Jacoby Watkins, older brother, alumni of Jamarcus Watkins, just walked up into the stands. The first time we've seen him tonight. Hopefully he got to see that play by his younger brother right there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's the way the second half starts. See his brother. He's over there. We see him. He's smiling right there. I think he's proud of his little brother right there. Got a smile on his face.
What a great way. So now Wildcats go up 33-0. They're going to get a running clock. That clock is only going to stop on some injuries and on some timeouts. Right after scoring plays before the next kickoff, it'll stop as well. So that kickoff return just took a few seconds off the clock. We're going to have 11:42 going in the third quarter as the Wildcats have to kick off to Northwest. If you're Northwest, you can't feel too bad about that. Jamarcus can do that to any team in the city.
Yeah, I mean, that's why not too many people have decided to kick the ball deep to us this year.
Yep.
They wanted to keep the ball out of his hands, and that's really been, not an opportunity that we've had a whole lot this year for a big return.
Yeah, Jamarcus is going to make the most of the few opportunities that he gets on those. Wildcats kick. Jacob Wiggins kicks it deep. Again, it falls and drops into no man's land, and it bounces just into the end zone for a touchback. Again, a good kickoff by Jacob Wiggins.
Yeah, he's showing that he's got the leg, too. Not only can he place the ball where he wants to go, he can also kick it deep, which keeps that kickoff return team to the other side guessing. So they don't know what to do. They got to stay up because we do that. He does that onside so well. Recovers it himself. We saw that last week.
Yeah.
Makes the recovery, that Pat McAfee recovery type deal. So it's a good
awesome play. Yeah, he can put it anywhere on the field. Wildcats find themselves in a unique situation. We fell into this last year often. But if you're Coach Shelby and Coach Stanley, you got to keep some of these starters out. They need to play complete games so that when they get to that playoff football, they know what those fourth quarters feel like. But you also always worry about player safety, some players trying to stay fresh and stay healthy. So you're kind of in a weird limbo point in the game when you get up this high. Whistle on the field, flag. We're going to get a delay of game by the Vikings. Looks like they made a quarterback change.
Yeah, they have no 40-second clock on the field. I mean, we've seen it. You got to be watching that back judge down there. When he holds his hand up, quarterback's got to be looking for that knowing.
Yeah, and it looks like it changed the quarterback. He just wasn't ready for that at all.
Right.
Going to get a 1st and 15. Running back takes the handoff in the backfield, and he makes a spin to move away. The defense is able to recover and still make tackle for maybe no pickup.
I mean, that defensive line was just swarming right there. They're making their presence known. Loss of about 5 yards right there. I mean, that's what you want out of that defensive line.
Good play by the Wildcats. Clock's going to keep ticking as we're down into the 9th minute. Vikings take a traditional 2-by-1. They've got a tight end, fullback deep, quarterback in the gun. Gonna take the snap, drop back to pass. He's gonna get a wheel route on the edge. Dawson Smith with some tight coverage. Throws his hands up, makes a tremendous play in space. That's one you don't really get to see Dawson Smith get to make often in that area of the field.
Yeah, we're getting to see Dawson on the field. We let him come on, taking James out early in the game. He's getting some good playing time, which is very important. He never got his head around, but he did that where he's watching the eyes of the receiver, so he's able to make a play on the ball right there, and that's what you kind of want to do if you're that player from the defense. If you can't get your head around, you don't want to face shield him, but you want to watch that guy. So
yeah, absolutely. He does a good job of not getting in a hands fight there. Doesn't get a flag.
Dawson Smith's one of those guys. It's good to see him on the field because it's starting to get some of our other guys some rest out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Quarterback drops back to pass on 3rd and long. He's pressured. He's still scrambling here. Ben Moore making a play. The ball's up. It looked like it may have actually been a lineman that he was possibly thrown to. Not really sure where that ball fell in that range. But either way, that's going to bring up 4th down for the Vikings.
Looks like they were going to try to go to that play again, but great coverage again. And when it wasn't there, he pulled it down. Looked like he was going to try to find somebody else. And there's just nobody else open at that point.
Yeah, Wildcats defense does a good scramble drill there. They're going to get set up for 4th down to return the punt. Mari Galbraith, Corbin Reynolds back deep to return. This area in the field will be good to see a blocked punt. We got them backed up, but traditionally tonight when we've dropped 2 punt returners back, we haven't really pressured it. Let's see what we do here. Referees are talking about something right on the
They're trying to switch the ball out. Put the kicking ball in for him.
About 4th and 14. Punter standing on about the 3-yard line to send this thing deep. Punter fumbles it. He's scrambling around. But Punter can't get to it. Ball down. Wildcats pick it up on the 5-yard line. Crazy turn of events right there.
I was concerned if that was going to happen. He had a bad snap the previous time, and you got to wonder, if that was going to happen. We don't have a replay on that. Definitely saw that was potential good. We're going to be 1st and goal inside the 10-yard. It looks to be from about the 6 right there. So
the Wildcats weren't necessarily trying to pressure that one, but they got back there anyway, and were able to get on that ball.
That's what bad snaps going to allow you to do that.
Wildcats offense is going to take over on what looks to be the 6-yard line going in. It's 33 with 6 minutes to go in the 3rd. Jack White in at quarterback. We're going to be in 2 wings tight, condensed set. We got option read, giving the dive. Bryson Ellington right up there, right up the middle, right down, and he's in for the touchdown.
Easy touchdown. That's the first time tonight we've really seen Northwest give up an easy score because they made a mistake fumbling the ball on the punt right there, snap. They've done a really good, even though I hadn't put points on the board, they've done a really good job of not. We've had to work the ball down the field most of the time, and that's really the first easy score they've given up.
Bryson Ellington been a really good fullback for this offense this year, coming in. junior, and he takes that ball down. Good hard carry. Picks up 6, just what he needed. Falls right over the line for the touchdown. The Wildcats attempt the extra point here. Snap, hold, kick is good. Wildcats will go up 40-0. 6 minutes and 27 seconds to go in the third quarter.
There you go. We got Bryson Ellington going to show him on the replay here, scoring the touchdown. Good movement by the offensive line. He's dragging defenders into the end zone right there.
Good run.
I mean, we have a great problem, and then we just got a plethora of running backs back there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, good problem to have for sure. We've given the fans and the cheerleading squad a lot to cheer for tonight. Still lots of time left in the game. It is a running clock and will remain a running clock in the second half. It only stops on injury timeouts, scoring timeouts, and then coaching timeouts. Jacob Wiggins has done a great job tonight. We're going to make a kicking change, give some of the younger guys that we talked about a little bit of experience on Friday nights.
So we're getting one of our other kickers in. We see a lot of him during the JV games. He's done a really good job in the JV games, doing the same thing that Jacob Williams has.
Good deal.
So it's a good job to see him get some experience.
He lets it loose. He gets it down to about the 20-yard line where it's caught and returned by the Vikings. He's chased down. He's hammered by Max Cunningham, the first guy there.
Another great kick right there by another one of our kickers. I mean, he puts it right there where you want to put it, pinned him up against the field sideline right there. You know, really cuts the amount of area that we have to cover on the kickoff. And, you know, we're starting the ball here, you know, at the 25-yard line on defense. So they got to, you know, where you want to kind of be at first and 2.
Stevens is taking the field. We're seeing a little bit of substitutions around the field now. Getting clocks ticking.
Looks like we got the younger pledge right here getting Jamarcus Watkins a little bit of rest on the field.
The younger Pledger brother, he's played cornerback a little bit. I understand he's played some JV too. He's been a good ball player, good athlete. Vikings are taking the field on offense. A little bit slow coming out of the huddle. Play clock, we don't have a play clock out here, but I imagine it's ticking down. Snap, run, wide zone. Running back change too for the Vikings. He's swallowed up immediately.
That's Ben Moore making that tackle right there. He's doing a good job, you know, coming up.
Ben just did not want to be blocked there.
No, he didn't. I mean, he's quietly been having a good night out there. I mean, we think he got robbed of a touchdown.
Absolutely did.
He calls probably almost recovered an onside kick and made it for his teammate to recover an onside kick and making some great plays out there on defense. I mean, I think one of his underrated things is how good he blocks.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
he gets in there and mixes up at tight end a good bit. Vikings huddled up, 2nd and 10. Referee raises his hand for the 5 seconds of the play clock. He may get a delay of game here by the Vikings. He may let him play it out. 4, 3, 2. They get the snap off with 1 second to go. Quarterback Josh back to pass. He's pressured. He's swallowed up. They're going to give him a quick whistle. A sack by Wildcats defense.
and Bryson Ellington in there. A whole host of guys going after him.
Yeah, you'd have to put down a bunch of names right there on assists. There's a ton of kids on the Wildcats on that.
But that's what you want to see, a lot of gain tackling right there.
If Coach Shelby was on the mic calling us tonight, not calling the plays, he would call that a clouder of cats. A clouder is a group of kittens that Coach Shelby likes to remind the players that they act like every now and then.
3rd and 20, that's a long third down right here.
That's tough. We're seeing some long huddles by the Vikings here. That's probably a smart game plan. You got some younger guys in, they've changed quarterback, changed running back, and you're also eating up some of that game clock, trying to slow the bleeding a little bit.
Yeah.
Still traditional sets. You can get 2 wide, 1 with a tight end. Quarterback drops back to pass. He throws it wide. Our guy in the area, he trips and falls trying to make the coverage there. Quarterback actually had a little bit of time there. He looked a little flustered after he took into a couple big hits. It's tough to stand back in there. Not many guys like Caden Pledger, around the area that can take a couple hits and still stand in there, deliver a ball.
Well, I mean, he has been kind of harassed a little bit in the second half, so you can kind of understand that. We're going to see what happens with this punt. If he gets a clean snap, I mean, really, the thing you got to wonder about is, hey, let's make sure we get the snap if you're Northwest right here.
Absolutely. Almost identical spot to where this last punt occurred. Catches the snap. We come after it, but he gets it off clean. Corbin Reynolds turns the punt cleanly. He's going to get a block from Amari Gabbard. He breaks a couple tackles. He's running down the sideline. Boy, he's finally knocked out of bounds at about the 25-yard line.
Corbin Reynolds showing that Vanderbilt commit baseball speed right there.
Absolutely. Coach Shelby loves putting baseball players back there to return punts because they just have such good vision fielding. It's just like catching a fly ball right there. Breaks a bunch of tackles. He's a hard guy to bring down.
He is. He's faster than you think he is, That's why he plays that safety position so good on defense.
Him and James, kind of similar builds, just big, strong, tough, dense guys, but they're a lot quicker than you'd imagine. Trey Young's in at quarterback. We're going to get an empty set. Tight bunch, condensed. Drops back to pass. He's going to get pressured. He's brought down on a sack. Loss of about 10 yards there on first down.
Yeah, it looks like we were going to try to work on the passing game a little bit more right there. We had James open in the flat here. Had to look like we had what we wanted, just, protection's not there.
Yeah.
They've done a really good job with, a couple holes in our offensive line, getting that pressure up the middle.
This is one game plan that's been semi-controversial. So if you're watching at home, we're not passing because we're trying to score necessarily here, but the clock doesn't stop. So we're almost bleeding more clock off as Caden Pledger drops back to pass, throws it deep to brother Carter Pledger, just out of reach on the fingertips.
Yeah, he had him wide open coming there, just a little bit past.
He's been throwing to Jamarcus Watkins all night, and now he's throwing a little bit slower, his own brother there. They may have a connection, but it's a big difference in speed.
Protection was there. On that play, when you watch it, we actually rolled James out as a blocker on that, and that provides a little bit of protection for the quarterback. So something that we may work on down the road.
Jack Wyatt back to pass. He's scrambling, rolls wide, he's pressured. He throws it up deep into a host of Vikings, and it falls through the hands of two different Vikings. Lucky that one was picked off. However, on a long third down, the pick there almost would have just been like a punt.
Yeah, probably should have went with a little bit of the underneath route right there. I mean, we got that. That's going to end the end of the third quarter there with that running clock.
Wildcats are up 40-0. It's going to be fourth and about 20 from a weird field positioning. You'd imagine this is still probably a throwing down the Wildcats because an interception just turns into a punt. Almost too far for your field goal, too close for a punt. Kind of in a weird situation here.
So we talked about it earlier. Tanya mentioned that QR code up there in the top right corner of your screen. If you hadn't seen it before, that QR code is how you can donate to the Clarksville Touchdown Wildcat Club. Way to give money to support this. It takes a lot of effort to make this happen. I mean, I know that this doesn't happen by accident. Everybody plays an important part, so we appreciate anybody that can donate to it. And you being a former player, it's really important to see it grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're wondering, that QR code is going to send it, like you said, right to the Touchdown Club. All of that money goes directly into the program to support the young boys. That money doesn't go necessarily into the pockets of any one individual. It goes into a collective of the players for things like uniforms, protective equipment, weight room and facility improvements, and things like that to help these players play on Friday nights. About to start the fourth quarter here. The Wildcats going to be fourth, about 20. Headed in. We're going to be in a different set here. Traditionally see kind of maybe one of our, what's referred to as donkey kick, where James gets to boot that thing a little bit.
Yeah, either that or we're going to do that punter in motion deal again. We'll see which one it is. But
we do have Jacob Wiggins lined out in our bunch set. He comes in motion. Snap to James. Drop, pass. Oh, we actually get a little trickery there. A little bit of confusion, too. The punter, Jacob Wiggins, gets a good pitch from James there on the end around. Drops the snap. Ends up throwing it up a little wild.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, was that a design play or was that just a deal on that?
That's a tough one to tell. Again, could be one of those things, just trying to get it on tape, let everybody know that we have it in our back pocket.
Right.
Another thing to prepare for against the Wildcats. One thing that teams find is that when you have so much put on tape, if you try to prepare for all of it, you can't stop any of it.
That is correct. I mean, we've done a good job preparing for a lot of tape for going into next week with Kirkwood. I mean, that's going to be a tough game, no doubt about it. I mean, it's definitely a lot of deal to look at that tape. I mean, look at tonight. Just talk about the stuff that we do. I mean, we've gone from being a very simplistic offense to being a complicated offense tonight.
Absolutely. It's going to confuse a lot of folks who have to watch this tape and break it down. Wildcats are going to take the field on defense here. 1st and 10 for the Vikings. 10 minutes to go on this running clock in the 4th quarter. I believe we got a timeout by the Vikings there. Does it look like the play clock maybe was about to expire?
Looks like it. You know what? While we got a timeout, I know Coach Shelby would hate for us to kind of talk about this because, you know, tonight's win will bring him to win number 65.
Wow.
Which, I mean, that's 2 wins shy of tying the record.
Tying the record with a couple of games left in the season already, too.
That's correct.
Big win for Coach Shelby, 65 wins. He would hate to hear anybody talk about that, but just like he kind of bragged on Coach Stanley this week on the Isaac Shelby podcast, Coach Stanley and all the other coaches would love to brag on him a little bit when he can get a big win number 65, bringing him to 2nd all-time. What'd you say, 2 wins away?
2 wins away. He'll be 2 wins away from tying the record.
Coach Shelby can break that record this year. He would then be the all-time winningest coach at 2 different schools in Montgomery County. Northeast, where he came from prior, and then Clarksville High, where he's at currently.
Yeah, that's a pretty significant feat for any coach. I mean, and I would say coming back to your alma mater, where it's probably the toughest place to do it, that's a pretty difficult deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only his alma mater, but his legacy, his father, his grandfather, so many Shelbys, so many cousins have all come through Clarksville High. So to be able to come back as Coach Shelby's done and become almost the all-time winningest. 10 minutes to go. We had what looked like false start, maybe on the Wildcats. There's going to be a 1st and 5, the Vikings. We're going to get a toss play out wide, and he's swallowed up immediately.
Jack Stein.
Nobody better. Jack Stein hasn't had a quiet night, but hasn't been maybe as loud defensively as some of his other weeks. He's just kind of done his job well tonight. Right there was a prime example.
Yeah, I think that Northwest has tried to figure out our strength of our defense is our linebacker core, and they kind of went into this game. It looks like they figure out how they can kind of minimize that. And I don't know that you could say, well, they haven't had a lot of tackles or hadn't called their name a lot, but it's about being effective without being effective, right?
Absolutely.
Sometimes you're effective on the play without making the play.
That's what makes Jack Stein so good, too, is he understands that better than anybody. He doesn't care if his name's called as often. As the Vikings drop back to pass here, they scramble. Jack Stein chasing down the quarterback, tackle from behind. Makes him actually fumble out of bounds. Jack was playing middle linebacker, and he got some huge pressure up the middle, and then was able to follow the play and chase the quarterback down from behind.
He almost came from the other side.
Absolutely.
We chased him from a long way down.
Those are big-time plays in the 4th quarter like we talk about. When you get to playoff football, these players are going to have to play for 4 quarters nonstop. So to see Jack later in the 4th quarter make a big-time play like that, chasing down, showing that he's still got some gas in the tank. .8:30 and ticking off the clock. Vikings picked up a 1st down on that play. Going to be a split set here. Quarterback's going to drop back and pass again, throw it to the flat. Corner comes up, makes a play for a tackle. From our vantage point, kind of hard to see some numbers to get some names out there, but a host of Wildcats make that tackle.
Really second and about 5, long 5.
Wildcats now getting some substitutions. Got some younger guys on the edge and back at safety.
But it's good to get them some experience and get them some game time.
Absolutely. That weather we talked about kind of changed the schedule last week. It also changed the schedule this week a little bit. I know Wildcats played a JV game, I believe, last night.
They did. Talking to the guys, a lot of the players that normally play didn't play because they potentially might have to play tonight.
Yeah, that changes the game plan for the coaching staff and for the players as well, kind of changing their schedule, their routine. As the Vikings drop back to pass. Oh, a phenomenal defensive play right there. We get some flags thrown in. The fans don't like that call at all. Looks like 2 Wildcats made a play on the ball.
We're going to look at the replay right here. I got a question with the fans on that. I mean, it looked like it was a tip ball right here. I mean, he got hands on the ball. I don't know what they're calling pass interference, but Wildcat is down on the field. I can't see who that is.
Looks like it's Carter Pleasure.
Yeah, it says Carter Pleasure. I don't know if he just got hit in the wrong place.
Shelby throws up a thumbs up to indicate he's okay.
Yeah, I think that was really the case here. I'm not really sure, I'm not sure what they called on it.
He's able to walk off on his own strength. Looks to be okay.
I'm not still kind of unsure what the call was, and it looked like a good defensive play because.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there totally. All three actually, the offensive player and the defensive players, all making a play on the ball, and it looks like the Wildcats actually ran into each other and never even touched the offensive player.
Yeah, I never saw any touch by the 2 Wildcat guys on the Northwest offensive guys. So.
Big tackle right there. Only a pick of about 1 for the Vikings. Vikings here second at about 7. 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go, ticking off in the 4th quarter. Draws back, boot pass, rolling. Jack Stein eats it up.
So he's been quiet all night long, and he finally gets through and gets that sack he's been after all night long. We're looking at the replay right now. I mean, he's going to read the play. He's kind of moved over playing outside linebacker with a younger crew in there, and he just reads it, comes up, and makes the play right there.
Great play by Jake Stein.
So we got a couple more younger guys in there, so this is where I had my only dad moment last week. So we got the younger Dowerful in the game.
Come on. I love it. Wildcats showing some pressure. Bringing the pressure. Quarterback scrambles. He's running. Pumps a few times. Finally brought down. It's going to bring up a 3rd and long for the Vikings. 4th and long, excuse me, for the Vikings. They just changed the down marker here. 5 minutes to go in the 4th, ticking.
Yeah, it's good to see those young guys out there, and it's really, we're mixing it up, moving different guys around there.
Absolutely, especially that last play. Those young guys may be younger, but nobody on the field really looks lost at any point right now. It looks like they really got the game plan dialed in. Wildcats bring some pressure here. It's going to be a boot pass on the edge. Quarterback's rolling, throws it up at the last second. Right on the edge. It looks like maybe somebody caught it. Not sure if they caught it inbounds or out of bounds. They're going to say that he caught it, I believe. However, he's going to be short of the first down.
Maybe short of the first down. It was 4th. So we'll take over on downs.
Ari Galbraith made a good defensive play there. It's hard to see from where we're at. what really happened. But either way, it's going to be the Wildcats' ball. 4 minutes to go in the fourth. The Wildcats are going to get ready to finish business tonight. Hopefully, potentially, the last drive. The clock ticks down.
So we'll do the same on offense, get some of those younger guys out there, which is a good thing to see because we got a big matchup with Kirkwood next week.
Absolutely. Again, Bryson Ellington up the middle on a dive play, just runs through everybody for a first down. Again, CWSAA rules make things a little bit difficult here. Having JV played on Thursday night, and we play again on Thursday night, players are only allowed to play 8 quarters of football regardless of what level, whether it's freshman, JV, or varsity ball. So having played some guys last week, Coach Shelby really had to do some math on who he was playing, where he was playing them, because if they played on Thursday night in JV, and then they're going to play in Kirkwood again, we do have another JV game again next week. So you potentially have a situation where some guys could be ineligible if they play more than a certain number of quarters.
Yeah, I mean, he's done a really good job managing that piece of it, I think. So I know talking to some of the team members that was really important for Coach Shelby to take that into account with the change because, basically how important that game against Kirkwood's going to be next week. It'd be interesting to see what's going to come out of the Dixon-Rossview game and see how that kind of plays into the standings.
Yeah, that could put a couple of teams in some weird spots. As the Wildcats picked up a face mask right there, Vari Galbraith had his helmet jerked on at the last second as he went to the ground. He's going to move us up 15 yards, 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. 3 minutes to go, ticking down on the clock. Jack Wyatt, option, pulls it, looks to potentially pitch and holds on to it. I think he's brought down after a pick of about 8 yards. Under 3 minutes to go, clock's going to continue to tick.
So as we talk about next Thursday night with Kirkwood, it's also senior night next Thursday night. So we'll be honoring all our seniors on the football team, and we got a pretty heavy laden senior class. So it'd be great to come out, to honor those guys. They've done so much for this program.
Yeah, support the Wildcats at Hilda J. Richardson next week for senior night. As the Wildcats makes a cutback in midfield, he's able to miss 2 defenders and walk in for a touchdown with 2 minutes to go.
Jaden Young, after all his defensive stuff, he finally gets his hands on the ball for that touchdown on the offensive side. He deserves that touchdown for how hard he works on the defensive side of the ball.
As much as we've passed on it too, I don't recall Jaden Young getting any other carries tonight. He's made a bunch of defensive stops, and right there, he just made a great run, cut back, and made a couple guys miss and walked it in.
Yeah, he did. It's so good to see him get that touchdown right there. Pretty excited. I know he's pretty excited.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's been a beast to be dealt with on that defensive line.
Extra point hold was good. It looks like the kick was maybe tipped a little bit as the ball sailed low and wide.
We had
still good, actually. Wildcats actually punch in the extra point. Sorry, from where I'm standing, it looked like it was low and wide. It was a little low, but it was not wide as it went through the upright.
That's part of getting that experience with that younger kicker in there in case something happens.
Absolutely.
We got that. I mean, it's really cool to kind of see that aspect.
Wildcats are going to go up 47-0 with 2 minutes to go. Again, that was a scoring drive, so the clock will stop until the kickoff, and then it'll run again.
So Kirkwood was up at halftime, 13-0.
I believe they were on the road at Liberty Creek, so non-region contest for them.
That is correct. They were on the road at Liberty Creek.
Wildcats kick off. Sand wedge kind of kick again. Vikings field it cleanly and then just take it down. In under 2 minutes, that clock's going to continue to tick. 1:30 to go, clock's ticking. Vikings are huddled up, getting ready to take the field on offense.
It looks like they're going to take a timeout. Northwest is right here.
They were huddled up for a while. Again, right after those kickoffs, that play clock starts as soon as that ball's spotted. So to avoid a delayed game there, looks like they had to take a timeout.
You know, you see that penalty a lot. You see it in college. You just, that change of possession, it gets a lot of teams. And you don't get out there, you think you have a lot of time, and you don't really. They spot that ball, and that clock starts running.
Absolutely, especially this part of the game. Getting some younger guys in there, maybe some lineups get a little confused. There was a coach's used timeout. That is going to stop the clock. 1:17 to go in the game. Wildcats lead 47-0. Vikings will take the field on offense.
So I think we pretty much got most of our starters are off on defense. We got everybody, you know.
Looks like he gets some other guys some experience out here on Friday night. Vikings going to drop back to pass. He's pressured. He scrambles. He runs up the middle. Takes a slide.
He decided he didn't want to take a hit on that, and he took the quarterback slide, which is a good play.
Absolutely.
For a quarterback.
D-line changes. Vikings quarterback runs back on with the play. 2nd and about 4. Under a minute to go. Clock's going to be running. Low snap by the Vikings. He drops back to pass. He scrambles. He's pressured again. He's brought down, sacked. Some guys getting in there on defense, gets a big-time sack, gets a little excited. The Wildcats are going to draw a flag right there for a little bit of taunting.
He's going to get unsportsmanlike conduct on that one.
You're a coach, you're not too terribly upset about that, but Coach Shelby knows these guys, and he knows that that's not necessarily what we coach at all. So they're going to be a little upset about that one.
Coach Shelby's over there. It may be 12 seconds left on the clock, but he's still over there coaching it right now.
Absolutely. I see some coaches want to chuckle under their breath. Again, there's going to be no stoppage of the clock on that, so that's going to lead it down to the end. The Wildcats set the field with a handshake. The Wildcats win 47-0 here at Northwest. They'll be headed back home to Hilda J. Richardson Field next week to take on Kirkwood in a big region game.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time next week. Kirkwood is coming to town. It's senior night, so I get to go be dad next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Enjoy James' senior night along with a lot of
best announcers in Montgomery County right here.
We got Ben Moore's dad right here. We're just talking about next week being senior night. It's going to be a great time. Everybody come back with basically a big game that we're going to have here with Kirkwood.
Huge game. Region championship on the line.
Yeah, we're talking region championship on the line. Good deal.
We also have some alumni in the stands tonight. Clarence Kendrick, Jacoby Watkins, getting to come back and see a big-time game.
So a lot of great stuff going on. Really had a great time tonight. The guys played really well out there. I think they did some good job.
It's great to see Jacoby. I saw you walk up here. Did you get to see Jamarcus' kickoff return right there to begin the second half?
Yes, I did. He is a fast, speedy boy. Very fast. Kind of a knucklehead, though.
Okay, a knucklehead. So that's a first-hand account from big brother there of Jacoby Watkins. He had some big-time plays tonight, a couple of touchdowns. As the Wildcats run over to the student section. Senior night next week. We have a large number of seniors. It's going to be a big event, big region game at home. Thursday night, don't miss it. As we go into fall break, the Wildcats get a day off early. Hopefully, some of the players have some things planned for fall break, maybe to get a little rest and break. Be good. Coach Shelby loves to get the guys that whole time off to reset, recharge a little bit. Generally doesn't schedule anything with the team that week. Loves to give the players some time with some friends and family where they can kind of reset their mind away from football, kind of recharge before playoffs start.
Yeah, I think it's that bye week kind of comes at the perfect timing in the season. You got really the last 2 games of the season right after that bye week. And so then we go to the playoffs after that. So really not a bad time to have that bye week in there. It's a good time to have it.
When I was a younger player here at Clarksville, we used to play on fall break, and it was always miserable. There's no school. Practice times were always weird. And so thank goodness Johnny Miller and some of the CMCSS officials made those changes for us, because I think those players can really appreciate it, and the families as well.
Yeah, I think that's such a good deal to do that. I think that's very important. I know, we're trying to get an interview with Coach Shelby, especially this being his 65th win. He's going to probably meet with the team here for a second, do his thing with the team, and then we'll get Coach Shelby on there. But, I mean, just really a great time to be at Clarksville Wildcat. I mean, we're coming off of an historic season last year. Looks like we're on another run this year. I mean, it just seems to be tradition that's been just continuing to roll.
Yeah, it's great to see Coach Shelby talking to the team right now. I know he doesn't want to talk about the historic wins, but 65 wins, second all-time in Clarksville High. He's creeping up on all-time Montgomery, and he's got plenty of games left in his career as a coach here. Not only as the Wildcats, but in the city, whatever he ever decides to do, he's creeping up on a high number that not many coaches have ever been able to achieve.
I think we're going to take a pause. I think we're going to go to Coach Shelby here in just a second. I know Ethan Smith's trying to get him. Oh, we're going to pause, and next we'll go to Coach Shelby for the interview.
Hello, Coach Smith. Why not the Lagoon?
All right, Coach. 47-0 victory over Northwest. You threw the football today. What do you have to say to everybody that says, "Hey, Clarksville High School doesn't throw the football"?
We threw around. We hit some ones that we needed to hit, missed some ones that we should have hit. But I thought it was a good night. We were out both guards. We got to figure that out.
You got a short week. You came off of a short week, I guess, with the rain and everything. Pushed Dixon back last week. Coming into another short week, what's the preparation like?
Starts immediately. Like we'll start as soon as we get back to the field house and make sure we have the best plan we can put together.
Awesome, Coach. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. All right, guys, we're going to send it back to you guys in the booth.
Ethan, a great time, great game tonight. I know we're looking forward to having a great game next week. I want to say it's great to be able to fill in, and I know, Kyle, you have any final words as we close out tonight?
No, come out to Hilda J. Richardson next week. It's going to be an exciting time. Senior night's always really fun. As we're getting close to the end of the year, too, you never know how many home games you have left, so don't miss one at Clarksville High.